Hello and welcome to the Fiber Tales podcast. My name is Lærke and I'm coming to you from Odense, Denmark. It's a really hot day. It's actually been really warm for a long time and I hope I will manage to get through this. Today I'm sipping on some iced coffee. I am living on iced coffee these days. Anything with ice, it's gets me through the day. And I feel like it's been such a long time since we last spoke. I hope you've been well. It's been great here. A lot of new things have happened since last time we spoke. Actually, in the last episode, I totally forgot to mention that I was going to Poland for a week. So I was there for a week and with my family, visiting some family. And since we got back, a lot of things has happened and there's been a lot of questions that I had to figure out in my personal life. So yeah, I've just been really busy. And the weather has been lovely, so I've been spending a lot of time outside. I was complaining a lot that spring didn't arrive, and now it pretty much went from winter to summer, and we've been having around 22 degrees every day, which for some of you will be very little, but for Denmark in May, that's quite good. So I'm really, really happy. So last time I was talking about some big secrets, and I will talk about the secrets or reveal the secret. I make it sound like it's something really important, but for us it's a big deal. I will talk about it in the end of the podcast, so in case you're not interested in my personal stuff. So I just really wanted to talk about some knitting because I've been doing a lot of knitting. I feel that the knitting mojo is going a bit down now that the weather is warmer. It happens to me every year, but I actually have done a lot of knitting since the last podcast. So let me start with the most exciting one. I've been knitting on this cardigan, which is my own design, for some time now. I had to rip back a couple of times, as it almost always happens when I'm designing something for different reasons. And it's pretty much done. I just need buttons, and I find it really hard to find the right buttons. For some reason I find it really important for this one to have the perfect buttons, so I'm still waiting on the buttons. And since the weather has been really warm, I haven't had much chance to use it. Anyway, here it is. I don't want to show too much as the pattern, it's not ready yet, but I can show a little bit. I'm really happy with how it turned out. The yarn is amazing. It's knit in, where did I put it? I just had it here a moment ago. Here we go. It's knit in used wool in the canach, and I can show you the yarn. I don't have much left. I pretty much used up, I guess I have around less than 50 grams left, and I bought 300 grams, so that's great. So this colorway is called Osna, if I'm not mistaken, there. And I think it's sold out on the website, but you will have to go and take a look. It's a beautiful yarn with a high twist, and it's very, you can see it's very bouncy, which is also what bothered me a little bit when I was, that's why I had to unravel and reknit some pieces twice, because the measurements kind of like bounced back, I guess. So so that was a bit of a challenge to figure out like the swatch and working with this stretch in the yarn, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think I will put it on for a moment just to give you another sneak peek, and then I will show you all the details once the pattern is out. So let me just put it on. It's a boxy cardigan with quite tight sleeves, and I'm really happy with the length. It's supposed to be for dresses and skirts or high-waisted jeans. So I made long sleeves and it's quite boxy. Yep. So more about this cardigan once it's been tested and it's ready to be published. I was wondering if I should publish it here now that it's almost summer, or I should wait until the fall. I don't know if people are interested in knitting a pattern in the summer that uses, I mean, you can use whatever you want, but still it's a relatively warm woolen cardigan. So I was thinking if I should keep the pattern for a bit longer and release it when we get into fall, but I'm so impatient with my patterns. I mean, it will be probably another month or two. I will more on that when you get to my news in the end, because that will explain things a bit, but why I can't tell exactly what will happen when. But I was yeah, if you have any opinions, would you like a pattern like this to come out in the summer even though you might not knit it in the summer, or is it better that it comes out closer to fall where you're getting excited about fall stuff? It would be really great to know. I finished this when I was in Poland, so it's already a couple of weeks ago, and that took most of my knitting time. And since then I finished another object, so my second finished object that I have right here, and it's another woolly thing that I don't know, I haven't had any chance to wear it yet, although these are spring socks, as I call them, because I think the colors are quite spring-like, spring-friendly. It's just, I mean, we can have spring here in Denmark where it's a little more chilly, but still nice weather, and they would have been perfect, but no, it's really warm. So, and I'm not complaining, but I haven't used my new socks. So I made one like before Christmas, and the second one I just finished. I'm a little worried, I don't know if you can see, but this one is a little bit, okay, now I'm holding them, yeah. This one is a little bit smaller than this one, but this one has been on the sock blocker for a long time. I just left it there, and this one hasn't, so I guess maybe and I didn't wet block them, I just left them on a sock blocker. I made out of cardboard. I don't have a proper sock blocker, so yeah, I hope it will stretch, because I counted the rows. The other thing that might be the reason why it's a tiny bit smaller, and maybe I shouldn't have counted the rows but just measured, is that I used two different needles. So on the first one I used some needles, I had some old ones, actually, well, I will show them on another project, but they were from Sandnes, I think. And on the second one I used the chiagoo that I got at Edinburgh Yarn Festival, and so that might be the reason they're a little bit different. But let me talk a little bit more about the socks. I have the yarn that I used is the Mondim yarn from the Retrosaria, the Portuguese yarn shop, which is a wonderful shop. this yarn is quite popular. I first saw it on Instagram, I think, from oh, I want the end to hide. I first saw it on Instagram on Melody Hoffman's account, Be Mandarins. I think she's on Instagram, and it's a beautiful yarn. It, for some reason, it looks a little more green on camera. I think it's a little bit more yellowish, and it knits up as these little tiny stripes that are kind of speckled. Not speckled, well, a bit. Yeah, they're like very lively stripes. And it's a very nice yarn. The colorway is here. I have a Ravelry page with all the info. I will link it down below. I decided to, so that's the yarn I used on the how you say, the body, or the main part of the sock, on the cuff and the foot. And for the, no, that's the cuff. What is this part? This is the, I don't know. For the cuff, I use this yarn. That is yarn I got from a Danish website that's called Naturlig Beklædning, and I don't know what brand it is. I think it was Swiss or Austrian. I always get it mixed up. Austrian, perhaps. Yarn, and I don't know anything else except this yarn is 80% wool, 20% rami, which is a natural fiber, plant fiber, to give it some strength. So I used it for the parts that need a little more strength. And this yarn is 100% wool. Yeah, I did a lip cuff that has a twisted rib, and then I did one row of purling, and just to create this little edge. And then on the heel I did a slipped heel, but I slipped both the right and the wrong side, which I'm actually not sure what you're supposed to do, but it gives a really thick, cushiony heel. So yeah, and on the inside it looks like this, so you can see all the slipped stitches. How many stitches did I cast on? I think I cast on 60 for this one. It will be on my Ravelry page. My notes are probably not that easy to follow for anyone, yeah, who doesn't know. Actually, they were not easy to follow for me either. I just write down what I think I need to remember to make 2 identical socks, so that's what the notes are there for. And I just did a toe where I increased on the 2 first rows, and then on every second row until I had, I don't remember how many stitches left, and then I kitchened them together. So very simple sock. I didn't want to do anything complicated because the yarn is so pretty, and you just want to see the yarn in these socks. So kind of vanilla socks, I guess, with a few details. I'm looking very much forward to wearing these, also because the socks I have right now are all pretty much, yeah, starting to wear out, and I need some new socks. So what more? I think I have enough for another pair of socks. I have to weigh this ball, and I'm thinking also if I should make something with this one. So those are my Mondim socks. I'm really happy about them, and I will recommend the yarn to anyone who is thinking about buying it. There are different colorways, and there are also some solid colors, so yeah, they're very nice. So from my finished socks onto some more socks. It's actually funny because I've been working quite a lot on socks, and I'm not a big sock knitter, so that's a bit atypical for me. But yeah, so let me show you this pair. This is finished sock that I finished some time ago. I already showed you, and I'm knitting away on the second one, I'm on the easy part. I already turned the heel. Also on this one, I did a slipped heel, but I only slipped on the right side, not on the wrong side. So it looks a bit different, like more like a rib texture. Let me see if I can show you. So on this heel, I slipped on both sides, and on this one, I only slipped on the right side. I have to look up again how it is exactly you're supposed to do it. I guess with knitting, you don't suppose, I mean, anything goes if it works. There are no rules, right? Even though it seems that like there are so many rules. But I really wanted to, I wanted to look it up just to see what is how you normally do a slipped heel. When I knit socks, I do a lot of improvising, or I'm just lazy and I don't feel like looking at patterns. So I'm knitting on these socks for my daughter's daycare daddy, and they're a little goodbye present for when she finishes daycare. She actually was allowed to stay one more month in the daycare where she is now, so I have a bit more time, which I really need. So I've been knitting on some more socks, and these are not that exciting, and I wouldn't. The yarn is from Garnusal. It's called Oline's sock, I think. I don't think I would recommend it. It's fine, but it's just not that exciting. So it was cheap, very cheap, 19 kronas for a skein. It was on sale, and if you're just looking for something cheap, then great, right? But it's not a yarn that I would recommend. So onto the next pair of socks that I'm knitting on. Let me just explain the story a bit, because last episode I said I really wanted to try some 9-inch circular needles and see if I like them, and it was really nice. I was contacted by a few people, but the first person who contacted me was Maria from Ninja Chickens, and she said she had an extra pair and was so sweet and so kind to offer to send them to me. And so Maria, if you're watching, thank you very much. It was so nice of you. I really feel like I should give you something back, but she said she was not using them and that I could, if I wanted to try them out. And these are higher. Why do I want to call them higher sharp all the time? It's just because I watch too many podcasts where they use higher sharp. These are chiagoo needles, and they are sharp enough for me. I actually don't feel like trying higher because I poke myself. And I already knit the cuff. I don't know how do I feel about them. I think I like them. It's much better. The first day I was knitting very, like, trying to see if I liked them, and I just kept knitting, and you can feel the hands are a little annoyed, but then I just left them and I didn't knit on them for a couple of days, and I picked them up again and it felt much better and it feels much more natural. So I don't know, I think I'm getting the hang of how they work, and I'm knitting much faster, and I don't have to think. I mean, you don't think, but I don't have to. Yeah, my hands are getting used to them. So I think all in all, I can say that I like them, but I don't know if I'm like gonna throw out or stop using magic loop and get all 9-inch circulars. So I'll have to try them a bit longer and see what I think. I don't know if you can see, but the first bit it's a bit wonky because the yarn was unraveled, but for the second bit I think it's looking quite nice. The stitches are lying nice. I don't see anything very different in my tension. These are 2.25 and I'm normally using a 2.5 when I'm knitting socks, so it looks a bit smaller, but I guess they should, right? So I think so far I'm liking them. I have to keep going for a bit longer to really know how I feel about these. I wanted to talk a bit about sock knitting because today I shown 3 projects and that is really strange for me. I don't know what it is because I see so many sock knitters on Instagram. When I posted the picture of my Mondim socks, it got so much love. I have a feeling like most podcasters are knitting socks. I really feel there's this big sock knitting community, and or like people really like sock knitting, and I'm not there yet. I don't get it. I mean, I don't mind knitting socks, but it's not exciting for me. It's really not that exciting for me. I feel like I don't. It's good. I mean, it's good when you want to go out and you bring them with you, but then I always get to the heel and then I have to think, or the. Actually, I don't know how to do the heel on these. I have to look up some tutorials or just use some separate needles, but I don't have any 2.25 millimeter needles, so I have to look into how to make heels with these. I don't really like, well, I only tried it once, but I'm not a big fan of short row heels so far, so I would prefer a heel flap and gusset, and I have to see if I can make it work with these. But what I was saying is I'm not a big sock knitter, and it's really strange for me to have this many socks on the needles at once. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I just feel more excited working on something I can wear garment. I guess a sock's a garment, I guess maybe, but it's yeah, I don't know. Do you feel any non-sock knitters? I don't want to say non-sock knitters because I knit socks, but it's not. I don't get super excited about socks as it seems other people do. So, or maybe try to explain me what it is that makes you so excited about socks, because I don't get it. I don't get it. Maybe I can learn something. Maybe I can get excited about socks, and it will probably come. I'm not saying I'm never gonna be excited about socks, but for now it's not. No, not what makes me happy as a knitter. Yeah, so I wanted to talk a little bit about this yarn. As you can see, it's a tweedy yarn, so it has this little nips of black and beige, brownish beige colors. It's a yarn I dyed myself, I think a year ago. Last year I was getting really into natural dyeing, and I really thought I was gonna be, I mean, I even thought about if I could start my own natural dyeing business. I had so many plans with it, and I bought everything. I went a bit crazy. This yarn is dyed with this kind of natural dye that's in a liquid form. You can get, I got it from UK, I don't remember the website, and it's called Saxon Blue, I think. So it's much easier than or Saxon Indigo. Saxon Blue? I don't remember. But it's much easier than a real indigo in the way that you don't have to create the indigo. Oh, I'm missing terminology. Doesn't matter. But yeah, it's easier. You just put it in the water and dye it up. And I got all the dye, all the pots, everything, and I was doing a lot of research on natural dyeing, and I really thought I was gonna love it because I love creating stuff. I love yarn. I love using natural products to create something. I'm very fascinated with what nature can do. Although I guess this one is a little more, it's somewhere in between natural and chemical dyeing. But what happened was I really didn't like the process, and I tried it a couple of times, and I don't know, it stresses me out. I know that alum shouldn't be dangerous or anything, but it still stresses me out. to work with something where you have to wash your hands and then do this and do that and clean up afterwards. So I didn't feel like doing it in the kitchen, even though I guess you could do it. So I was trying to do it outside, and we live in an apartment. It was not, I don't know. It sounds like I'm complaining. I'm just saying it was funny because I was so convinced that natural dyeing was something for me, and I got really into it, and I really was ready to put everything into this. I invested quite a lot of money in buying all the stuff, and then I didn't like it. So I guess if you're interested in natural dyeing, learn from my mistake and just maybe try it out in a smaller scale first and see if you feel comfortable with the process. It was also a lot about you have to rinse and then wet things and carry them, and there was a lot of manual labor that was not that creative. And of course, I mean, in everything you find something you don't like. The same when I'm designing. I'm not so crazy about some parts of the designing process, like math, but it doesn't mean in some way I still like it. There was something about the dyeing that was for me just, I don't know, didn't work for me. And maybe if I had learned it from someone who could calm me down about feeling anxious about if I was doing it right, or I don't know. Sometime I might show you some more dyed yarn that I did dye quite a few skeins, and yeah, I will try to knit them up this year. So what I'm saying is that natural dyeing, although I love it a lot, I prefer getting it from other people. And that's just the thing. Sometimes you have to try it out to see if you like it, and if you don't, then let it go. I was thinking actually that if anyone should be interested, anyone here in Denmark, in my equipment, you can send me a private message and I can let you know what I have. I have a lot of stuff, and it's all in the basement in good conditions, but I need to get rid of it. So yeah, if you are interested in that and you live nearby, I just let me know. I have huge pots and stuff, so it has to be, I can't send it far away. So today seems like it's a complaining episode, because the next thing I wanted to talk about is another yarn that I've been working with or trying to work with, and it's super frustrating. I think I showed you before for this design I was working on, and I ripped it back and I started on a new design, and I wanted to use this pattern I had seen in the Japanese stitch dictionary, and because this is linen yarn I'm knitting up. It's a very beautiful, oh, it's looking more green, I think that's more the right color. It's a very beautiful yarn by Lino Muka, which is a Latvian yarn. I got it from Woolen Berlin. And I don't know, it's just like the stitches I'm trying to use with this yarn, like the patterns, they don't look nice, or they don't work the way I would imagine they would work in wool. So I want to make something with this yarn, but I have to find out what can work with it. So for now I'm back to nothing, like a stockinette piece, and I've been knitting a lot on this, and it's really frustrating. So linen yarn, another one of those things. I think it's very nice, and I'm getting better knitting with it because it doesn't have any stretch. Like I'm holding two strands together, but it's like a hard string, so with no give or anything. Much different from the used wool. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I hope it will work out. I really love the color. I really love the feel of the linen once it's knit up. I can show you a little bit. It was supposed to be a sleeve, but the detail I wanted to have is not working out. So back to the testing and swatching and stuff. This was my swatch. I didn't make another swatch, excuse me, because why not? I mean, sleeves and smaller pieces work great for swatches, so I don't feel like re-knitting, or I have this thing, I don't like wasting yarn, so if I can make my swatch into the actual garment, I'm happy. So that's all the knitting for this this episode. That's all I've been working on. I'm feeling I have ideas for knitting, but I'm not picking up my knitting needles so much at the moment, so I hope that will change. And now on to the little secret I told you about. As you will have seen in the clip I just showed you, and maybe have guessed, we have found a house, and I am super happy that we will be moving in for the 1st of July, I think, around that time. And the house is, we're not buying, we're just renting. But the house is absolutely beautiful. It's in the countryside, so we're moving from the city to the countryside, and it is near a big forest, and I can't wait. It has a garden, it's an older house, so it's very charming, and we have a lot more space than we have right now. So this is the big news I was talking about. We've been down there back and forth to talk to the owner and sign the contract, and yeah, we can start moving in once he has a spare key for us, and I'm really excited about it. Yeah, it's I don't think I will show too much of the house, just because I don't want people to know where we live, and I know that's probably a bit paranoid because it's in the middle of nowhere in Denmark, and the chance you will know where that is really small. But just, yeah, I just like to keep things a little private. But we've been looking for a long time. I've talked about it before, I really wanted to move to the countryside to give my daughter a different upbringing than the one I had. Not than the one I had, like the one I had, but right now we're living in the city, so she's growing up in the city, which also it's very nice and has a lot of benefits, but it depends what you want, right? And we really wanted to go and live in the countryside. The good thing is it's a rented house, so in case we need to move or change something, we can get out of there really easily. But I'm just so excited about living in a house with a garden. I have so many dreams. I want to go buy all the plants and flowers and make the garden. Probably for this year we will just have to accept that we're not gonna get that much done, because once we move in, it's in the middle of the summer, and planting and getting stuff ready in the garden should be done in spring for most things. So making a vegetable garden or something like that will probably be for next year, but I think we will enjoy it very much nonetheless. And yeah, it means we're gonna be very busy packing down this place, and there will be a change in the for my daughter, it's a change of environment, it's a change of, she has to start in kindergarten. So we're trying to make it as smooth as possible for her and for ourselves. And there's a lot of things. Last time we moved was 4 years ago, and we didn't have a child. And moving with a child, it's not, I don't know if it's much more difficult, but I feel there's so many more things I have to take into consideration, and more worries and more things. A lot of things. Yeah. So those were the big news. There will be more news in the next episodes as well. I have more things to tell you. So, but this is what I was talking about last time. And I can't wait to show you like little clips of this new place, and having a garden, and having a really beautiful, it has these old windows, and the light is just wonderful. So it will be a very different place than where we live now. I mean, the light is nice upstairs, but we also have a downstairs part in this house, and it's quite dark in the on the first floor. So I'm sorry if this episode has been a little all over the place. I'm for some reason not really feeling focused, but I really wanted to record and talk to you all and about the knitting and about what is happening. So before I go, I wanted to remind you all that I'm hosting a knit dance cal together with Ida from Volapük. And you can still join if you're fast, if you're knitting something small, because it's running until the end of May. I had a few questions if I could make it longer, make the cal longer, but as I will have to pack down all my stuff, I decided not to, simply because I'm afraid I will pack the giveaway prize somewhere and then not be able to find it. It would be much easier for me to have it out the house before we move. So the cal will end on the end of May. I will pick a winner after that from the finished object thread. Ida is picking a winner from Instagram. So if you tag your pictures on Instagram with the knit dance cal, she will, I think that's the tag. Check Ida's Instagram, because she's the one picking from her profile. So that was it for today's episode. I really hope you enjoyed it, even though it was a bit... I think it's the heat. It's the heat. I blame the heat. But I will try to podcast soon again. If you liked the episode, please give it a little thumbs up and say hello in the comments, or whatever you feel like. I'm happy to hear from you every time. I hope I will talk to you soon, and have a lovely week. We're in the middle of the week. Have a lovely... What day? Wednesday. It's Wednesday today. Have a lovely Wednesday. Bye.